Another point I would like to emphasize and make available to the audience, something that it would be breaking news, that Mujtaba Khamenei, son of the previous supreme leader, has said that if push comes to shove, make the bomb, make the nuclear bomb. 2 weeks. They need 2 weeks to do that. And he has also said that if we get attacked, and it's a matter of our life or death, the fatwa is changed. You can use it.
This is extremely important for several reasons. One of them, the Khamenei doctrine that a nuclear bomb is anti-Islamic.
Yeah,
That's it's over. It's over.
it's completely over. Good evening. I'm Zulfiqar Ali. For more than 4 decades, I have worked inside the machinery of global finance. That experience taught me one thing very clearly. Power is not only declared in speeches, summits, or headlines. Power moves through currencies, payment systems, energy corridors, sanctions, capital flows, intelligence channels, and the quiet architecture behind public events. You have been told the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz is just another regional flare up. Dangerous but contained. That is absolutely false. What we are watching is not a crisis, it is a rupture. Iran has drawn a red line. Pakistan has become the critical back channel between Tehran and Washington. China is no longer observing from the sidelines. Joining this project are voices with serious reach and hard earned authority. Larry Johnson, with decades inside the CIA and US National Security Order. Pepe Escobar, a global correspondent with deep access across Beijing, Russia, West Asia, and the rising multipolar world. Welcome to the inaugural broadcast of a show that will change the way the news is delivered and the news is consumed.
Iran was going to withdraw from the negotiations.
And he was absolutely on point.
And
Yeah.
what happened today?
What happened today? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So we go check.
You bet.
And with that withdrawal from negotiations, and let's talk about that a bit before we get to the real, what I call ball breaking news.
Excellent.
The fact that they said, my understanding is Iran said three things. The fighting has got to stop in Lebanon. It's got to stop in Palestine against the Palestinians, and the blockade's got to be lifted.
Exactly.
And until that, no talks.
And they have been saying this over and over again. These are the three top demands. After that, we're going to start talking about the nuclear dossier.
Right.
If I can interrupt, you're
Please.
talking about a gentleman who is my source, and I have made numerous attempts to be in touch with this particular gentleman because many times he's not available, but he has his deputies who have 2 stars on their shoulders call me, so they are not, they're not clerks. And because this was our inaugural show, and because I have such great respect for both you and for Larry, and this is genuine respect, I did not want even an iota of the information that I passed to you to be anything other than words out of the horse's mouth, the right horse, and
The right.
and he confirmed that to me. He said, not only are these words out of the horse's mouth, but you will never get anything else from me. And our objective is to get the truth out, to raise the profile of Pakistan, West Asia, in the world, so that as the global north goes down, global south goes up. And he made a particular point of saying that anything Pakistan does is on behalf of China.
Yeah.
So Pakistan
Um,
is not acting on itself.
no, they can't because they don't have the leeway to act by themselves.
Of course not.
And of course, this is part of
Well,
the Chinese in the back. They are specialists of being in the background and coordinating extensively in the background. And the Chinese never expose themselves directly.
well, and the other,
Yes.
let's call it another sort of corroboration of this information that it was we're told in that information that this was communicated to Marco Rubio by the
Shehbaz Sharif.
Pakistani foreign
Yeah.
minister.
Yes.
And I remarked at the time that Marco Rubio probably had to have an underwear change after getting that information.
Excellent.
So and why I said we got some indirect corroboration of that is this morning so this information came out about the suspension of negotiations about 10 a.m. Eastern time. Trump didn't wait an hour before he was on the phone with Bibi.
Right.
And now we get two different stories of what happened out of that phone call. I think Trump read the riot act to Bibi and said, stop. Bibi comes out and, has his different spin. But in that particular tweet or Truth Social post that Trump announced it, he didn't go into all this, crap about, thank you for paying, thank you for your attention to this message. None of that nonsense. It was sort of boom, 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 direct.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his claim that he talked to Hezbollah, I do not believe for a second.
No, but this is completely absurd, Letter. We know this is absurd.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know who to call in Beirut.
Yeah. So, and then the follow-up comment by this IRGC official, where he said that based on Netanyahu's comments, that the inhabitants of the northern occupied territory, northern Israel, you need to get out because Iran is going to hit military targets and military personnel. So I went, whoa, so this is now going in. This is now. I want your view, Pepe, but I'm seeing now that Iran said, okay, we're done with this process.
Yes, true. And they were remarkably patient. The back and forth with our Pakistani friends being the mediators lasted too long, in fact. And the Iranians had to reaffirm over and over again the order of the procedure.
Mm-hmm.
First, you stop all wars. That includes the war against Lebanon. Then we discuss the Strait of Hormuz. And the third and last stage, we discuss the nuclear dossier. This has not changed for weeks.
Right.
And they had to explain this over and over and over again. So, obviously, after what happened last week, which we should discuss live, the incident near Bandar Abbas, and then the Americans bombing Kashmir, and then the Iranian response in the Kuwaiti air base. This was them sending a warning. Look, our patience has limits. And today, Mohsen Rezai, the top military advisor to Mojtaba Khamenei, said, look, our patience has limits. That's exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened today is the illustration that it has reached the limit already.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I would like to interject at this point is that he is not acting alone, the military advisor. He is, this is part of intelligence that I'm providing to you and that I'm providing to our audience who will listen to us and distinguish our show that way. He is being advised by somebody who he highly respects. He is the chief of Pakistani military forces. He's a field marshal. His name is Asim Munir, and he has a direct link.
Advised by Asim Munir, right?
Yeah, a direct link. He has a direct link to the supreme leader and through his good graces to the head of IRGC and the political leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how this has come about. So I would like to invite you, Pepe, or Larry, or both, to break the big news that I gave you from the source, because the world needs to know
Yeah.
where this thing stands.
Well, that's why. Yeah, that's why I wanted to emphasize. He said three things, and so well, I'll list those three. And or would you prefer to do it, Pepe? I don't want to steal.
No, no, go ahead, Larry, and I'll complement something.
Okay. So the three elements were withdrawal from the process.
Mm-hmm.
Bing, that happened today. Second, withdrawal from the NPT, the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Third, a demonstration of a nuclear device, an explosion, not an attack on anyone, but a way of saying we got the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Now, within that, the question is, and I'd asked Zulfiqar this and didn't have, he wasn't sure. Did Iran build it itself? Or are they getting it as a gift from? Is it Pakistan? Is it North Korea? Is it China? Is it somebody else? That's what we don't know. But
that's what we don't know. Exactly.
I have an answer for that, since you asked me that question, Larry, because I posed that question to our contact. And our contact said that there, again, breaking news, that there, the actual know-how came from Russia, not China, not Pakistan,
does
but Russia.
not necessarily mean that Russia built it.
No, Russia did not build it. Russia gave them the know-how.
Acquired the knowledge from Russia.
Correct.
But also, don't forget that for years, Iran was acquiring knowledge from North Korea. When I went to Iran in some of my trips, there were North Korean delegations there. And there was a back and forth of North Korean delegations from Pyongyang to Tehran throughout the 2010s, practically non-stop. And obviously, the North Koreans in Iran never talk to anybody. They only talk to themselves. I remember in one conference, 2 or 3 of us, I said, let's try to talk to the North Koreans. Absolutely out of the question.
Another point I would like to emphasize and make available to the audience, something that it would be breaking news, that Mojtaba Khamenei, son of the previous supreme leader, has said that if push comes to shove, make the nuclear bomb. 2 weeks. They need 2 weeks to do that. And he has also said that if we get attacked, and it's a matter of our life or death, the fatwa is changed, you can use it.
This is extremely important for several reasons. One of them, the Khamenei doctrine that a nuclear bomb is anti-Islamic.
Yeah,
it's over.
It's completely over.
Number two, why Mojtaba is, let's say, giving the green light under a certain number of very serious conditions. First of all, because he is very good at reading the chessboard, something that he inherited from his dad. Number two, he knows that nowadays this is a mega extra leverage for Iran that they didn't need to use before, according basically to Shiite theology. But now we are in an existential war. So bye Shiite theology. It's a matter of a resistance, sovereign resistance, and Iran is under an existential threat by US Israel. So that changes completely. And third, he is already establishing his own legacy, building on his father's name and accomplishments, but he is his own man. And number
Absolutely.
four, very, very important, he was always very, very close to the IRGC leadership.
Yes,
They
Yes.
trust each other completely because the key interlocutor between his dad and the IRGC leadership was Mostaba for, if I'm not mistaken, 12, 13, 14 years, maybe 17 years, for a long time.
Yes, and I don't think that we should de-emphasize the extraordinary. I mean, it's really extraordinary because I'm a witness to it, and that's the reason I am able to see that. The I would say the full support of the Pakistani military forces, which are very, very significant, and they are the dominant forces in the region. A decision made by China 4 or 5 years ago was proven against India. Very close. And the Pakistani Prime Minister has completely opened all the gates for all kinds of humanitarian aid to go through Balochistan and Bandar and Gawadar, from Gawadar to Chabahar.
And this is immensely important, Larry and Zulfiqar. All of us who follow that part of the world, which is fascinating for several aspects, historical, cultural. Alexander the Great used to travel in those areas. Sistan Balochistan in Iran and Balochistan in southern Balochistan in Pakistan, including Gwadar port.
Yes,
Now they are sister ports. You could
correct.
never imagine this 3 months ago. Oh, it's fascinating because I never cease to talk about it in everywhere that I go. I was in Chabahar last year. We were shooting a documentary on the international north south transportation corridor, which is Russia, Iran, India. And in Chabahar, I talked to, it was great because we had uh, green light to talk to everybody, all the authorities, etc. So we got a special tour of Chabahar. And I was talking to engineers in Chabahar, and we were talking also about Gwadar. And I asked him, look, the Pakistani port, Gwadar, is 80 kilometers from here. They are your neighbors. Do you see them as competitors? And at the time, they were saying, well, it's different because our port is part of this corridor, international north south, so Russia, Iran, India. And their port is part of the Chinese New Silk Roads, the China Pakistan Economic Corridor. But now we see this merging because Iran is using Gwadar as if it's an Iranian port, and the Iranian ports are blockaded, as Larry knows very, very well, by that man in War, Alago, and Washington. So what the Pakistanis did? Okay, we merged the ports. It's our mutual interest. It's good for China as well because the Chinese are looking at Chabahar and say, haha, maybe sooner or later, this is going to be another one of our ports to do trade with Afghanistan, because from Chabahar to Afghanistan is 200 kilometers, and from Afghanistan you go all over Central Asia. So they are
Absolutely.
system, and they are part of this overland maritime connection between Iran and Pakistan. So from a geoeconomic point of view, this is like wow, it's
Uh,
a marvelous New York cheesecake, you know.
I will break another news right now. Okay, I mean, from my personal direct knowledge, uh, a person who has the rank of an admiral. Okay, very, very high up. He has been for the last month and a half in Pakistani naval ships, very advanced, making all the rounds of Chabahar and Gawadar, along with his Iranian counterparts.
Wow, that's huge. That's enormous.
Yeah,
That's enormous. It
and
proves once again the interconnection in
yeah,
every level.
I wanted to support what you just said. I mean, a lot of the news that I'm getting, I'm only now beginning to share with you because I was very reluctant to do so.
Sure.
And then I decided that you two were the right kind of people with whom this information could be shared, and through you to the rest of the world. But I can absolutely attest to this fact, because this gentleman is also a very, 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 very close friend of mine. He is an admiral, full admiral, and he has been. Pakistan has gotten some very latest ships from China. He has been for the last 6 weeks constantly between Gwadar, Chabahar, Bandar Abbas, making all those rounds. And when the admiral goes, it's just not one ship; it's a bunch of ships.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And
Larry?
his news
No,
is that this is
I,
completely open to Iranians.
I have a question to Larry. I loved your metaphor about Rubio, but would you say that Rubio actually understood the message coming from Pakistan's Sharif, and
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
was he able to actually impart to Trump the seriousness of it all?
I think Rubio understood the seriousness of it.
Mm.
And actually, I think Trump grasps that as well by simply pointing out how quickly, once Iran announced it,
Announced.
they didn't have to spend hours debating, well, what does this mean? Instead, okay, that's item one on what they told us was going to happen. So now let's see, do they sign off? Do they now bow out of the NPT? And then if they do that, then we got a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's moving methodically along. I also saw in the news, and I don't know if you saw it, about 2 hours ago, Iran fired an anti-ship missile at a U.S. ship. So,
I see.
yeah, so initially I thought that this would be confined to just going after Israel, but I think now Iran is going to do everything to lift the blockade.
Exactly. Which is something that they were, once again, they were telegraphing this weeks ago already.
Yeah.
If they break the ceasefire, we will respond immediately, and it's going to be much more hardcore than before. If we confirm this missile against a U.S. Military vessel, this might be the beginning.
Well, and this is also then in line with what the source with Zulfiqar's source has told him, that Qatar and Saudi Arabia are moving outside of the U.S. security umbrella,
Absolutely.
moving into a security umbrella that guaranteed by China, Russia, and Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely guaranteed. 100%. I heard it from the man's lips.
But okay, Zulfiqar, first question to you. Very, very important.
Yes.
Do you perceive some sort of hidden agenda from the Saudis that they might be using Pakistan to get closer and closer to Iran, but they want to use that for their own purposes later on in terms of a Pakistani security umbrella, which is included in the Saudi Pakistani military pact?
The,
See some nefarious design.
I have direct news for you. I did not share, as you can see now. I'm giving out a lot more very close information. See, the somehow after the clash with India, the Operation Sindoor, where India had thought that they, by acquiring the Rafales, that they were going to be so invincible and they were going to do so many things to Pakistan, and within minutes, India was gone. A tremendous amount of respect developed in China as well, because the Chinese technicians were in Pakistan. I can guarantee you that. I know that for a fact. They reported to China, Saudis, all these Gulf countries. So Pakistan has been playing a big role in bringing Saudi Arabia and Iran together. And it will be, in my view, from what I heard, a matter of 6 to 9 months where there will be significant movement between Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, some Central Asian countries like Azerbaijan and Turkey, and also, very interestingly, Egypt. This will
Well,
become a
but
bloc.
yeah, but four of them, they were, I would say, a budding sort of axis even before the Islamabad one face to face, in the indirect face to face between the Americans and Iranians, because the first meeting was Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt,
Correct.
and then the next day, the Pakistani foreign minister went to China to talk to Wang Yi in person.
Yes.
And obviously, Wang Yi asked him, okay, what did you talk about in Islamabad? Okay, give me solid results. At the time, there was nothing exactly solid. But China was backing already these four Sunnis.
Well,
Very important.
I mean, this is not news for people like yourself. Pakistan and China are like brothers, not even brothers from different fathers or different mothers, but brothers. They are so close. Pakistan does not even cough without letting China know that, oh, I had a cough.
Mhm.
So all of this is really driven by China, and all of this is a plan by China, which is being executed every single day that you see, to become the dominant power, but not the hegemon, like the U.S. has been in South Asia and global South.
No, because the Chinese focus is geoeconomics and Eurasia integration on a
Yes,
trade manner. It's a
the
completely different mindset.
but the dominant player, but not the hegemon. Okay, not the hegemon.
No,
Uh,
they
and
don't
the
want.
and the U.S. is
Yeah.
gone. And the U.S. is gone.
No, the West is being expelled from Eurasia, little by little, slowly but surely, and lately more surely than slowly.
and
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
will come very it will come very it will come very quickly at some stage. It will come very
Well,
Very.
quickly.
I was going to say the one dimension of this that is not being, I think, fully captured, and not by you gentlemen, but the economic dimension of what the world is going through without realizing what it's going through. We don't have there is no event that we can point to in history that is like what we're experiencing right now. And at least never in the history of the modern world. And I asked Professor Glenn Deason, he's a historian. I said, hey, Glenn, can you think of one event
Mhm.
where you've lost 20% of the world's supply of oil shut down, 25% of the world's supply of liquid natural gas, 35% of the world's supply of urea, sulfur, 44% of the supply of helium. And those, the oil and liquid natural gas part, they affect industrial activities. The urea and sulfur, they affect both fertilizer, crop growth, as well as some the sulfuric acid goes into a whole metallurgy. And then the helium, this is the one that I think is so unappreciated right now because of its role in the manufacture of computer chips.
Mhm.
So, because what is the world seized with now? AI, artificial intelligence. And to do that, you've got to have data centers. And if you got data centers, that means there are computers in those data centers. And last I checked, inside those computers, these things called computer chips. So now all of a sudden, the main a key ingredient for producing those chips is no longer available, which means you're not producing as many chips, but you got this growing demand for the chips, but a shrinking amount of it, except China is now in a position where they're producing a lot more chips.
Exactly.
So, I mean, what we're witnessing is this whole geopolitical upheaval that is now taking place with Iran and with Pakistan and with Turkey and Egypt and China behind the scenes. And it's all taking place against this whole panorama of, I don't know let's call it an economic tsunami that I don't think most countries in the world actually have felt the pain that's going to come yet, much less appreciated the dimensions of it. You think I'm missing? You think I'm exaggerating?
Larry,
No,
you're not exaggerating.
Very obvious in a few weeks from now.
If you would allow me, I will say what I wanted to say. I thought a lot about coming to you guys with the information that I had before I made the decision to do so, because I have known these individuals for a very long time, decades that is, and I've been privy to some information. So the reason I did that, Larry, is that for the precise reason that you just mentioned, the world is not going to be the same 6 months from today, Larry. No questions about that. No questions about that. 9 months from today, for sure, it will not be the same. And the sooner that people begin to understand that, the better they will be protecting themselves. The world is changing dramatically, and Trump cannot keep up with what he is doing. There is no way Trump can continue with this. He's going to have his back to the wall. He's not going to have weapons, and people will be on his throat because he would have deprived them of fertilizer, helium, all kinds of stuff. Do I say that exaggerated, Pepe?
No. But this goes way beyond. He's just a minor cog in this gigantic wheel. He's, in fact, I would say he's a side character in a much, much bigger Shakespearean play. He's not even the main character. He's a side character. The problem is one fateful decision, the turn of this, I would say, demented wheel. Now it's unstoppable. He was not even consciously thinking about the consequences when he took the decision, and Larry can talk about this in detail. Because, of course, first of all, he's not a strategic thinker. He's not a thinker to start with. He's not a strategist. He doesn't read. He doesn't have he doesn't understand the notion of critical thinking and comparing schools of thought or concepts. Forget it. It's basically an immediate result that could be good for himself, his cronies, or whatever. Okay, I'll launch a war. It's going to last 1 weekend. On Monday, I proclaim victory. Stock markets are going to explode, and that's it. And another adventure. That's it. And
that's what he thought.
There was, but Zulfiqar and Larry, there was not a single soul around his extremely mediocre cycle to say, don't mess with the Persians. It takes 10 minutes of studying history to understand that. Nobody could tell. It's not very complicated.
Now, I was wondering, so we've seen how Trump over the last, so we're in week 13, week 14 of the war, how Trump has manipulated the stock market and the oil market to the financial benefit of his family. And then I started thinking, you know what? I wonder if Iran has set up a company that's doing it, because Iran could, like today, hey, you know what? We're pulling out, no more negotiations. And then what happens? That way they could make some more money on the side. And I don't think they'll, they can't get prosecuted in the United States for stock manipulation or whatever, because insider trading, because they're outside. I just, that thought crossed my mind.
Excellent, excellent.
Larry, I have to ask you. I mean, I came from Pakistan, even though many years ago, but I still have that ethnicity, and Pepe, is from Brazil, even though he travels the world. But you are a native-born American, son of the soil.
Yep.
And you served in the CIA. You served this country, and now you see just complete assholes, dismantling it. Just complete assholes. The debt is $40 trillion, supported by the petrodollar. This is something I know very well. And soon the petrodollar is not going to be able to support it. Very soon.
And what troubles me, and I was sharing this with someone else earlier. I look back. I have to look back on history now in a different way. When I was contemporary with Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait, even though I had worked at the CIA, I did not have the information that the CIA was the one that was providing Saddam Hussein with the precursor chemicals for making the mustard gas and for making sarin and nerve agents, that they were the ones providing Iraq with biological agents, that it was the United States government policy to provide Saddam with the intelligence that could be used to attack and kill Iranians. And it was, without that knowledge, and then never quite understand, it didn't understand until more recently that the CIA continued to have that close relationship, not just with Saddam, but with key members of his military and key members throughout Iraqi society. It was the United States and Iraq knew each other. It wasn't just some sort of superficial thing. And then, the end of 86, start of 87, Saddam Hussein gets pissed off at the CIA because he discovers basically that we're cheating on him. We're sleeping with the Iranians. In fact, we're giving the Iranians weapons that they're using to kill Iraqis. And so he said, no more with the CIA. He wouldn't deal with them. He would deal only then with this U.S. Army colonel by the name of Walter Patrick Lang, who happened to have been a friend of mine for 25 years before he passed. So I got some of the inside information about, here was Pat hand carrying that intelligence for the last 2 years of the war. My point in this is the way the average American is taught history is it doesn't include this nuance at all, which once you understand the context, then you got to step back and say, like when Saddam invaded Kuwait, after he'd gone and talked to Ambassador April Glaspie and said, hey, these guys are stealing oil from me, and you got a problem if I go in and take care of it? And she said, U.S. government has no position on that. So he said, okay. It wasn't just because he had a 10-year relationship with us, where I guarantee you, I don't have the files, but I'll bet you a lot of money that there were times where he went and checked things out with the United. I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And the U.S. would go, yeah, do it. Or no, don't do that. So that's why he was doing this with April. And then yet, how we demonize him, how we make him the villain, how we make him one of the excuses for starting another needless war in the Middle East. And at the same time, having used him as a proxy to kill Iranians, 200,000 of them almost, and then sit back and say, why do those Iranians chant death to America? So, yeah, what I'm trying to do, and I know what Pepe does it, set the record straight. Make sure that people understand the full context of what's going on. And that's what, we're appreciative, Z, of, the information that you've been able to come up with. It's important to get this out to people that they understand that the world is changing. We're in the midst of a fundamental geopolitical change. The world is essentially being turned upside down, and the United States is going to be on the outside of it, not inside.
No question about it. And that's the reason I did it. And I am very grateful to you guys. I want to thank you for having the confidence in me to accept my invitation and to do this. I truly, truly admire you for taking the leap of faith that this guy may be telling the truth and deciding to do this. I do want to point something else to you also, Larry. I mean, being a military man, I go way back. I was part of the effort made by Kissinger, Bill Simon, to convert the sale of the oil into petrodollars, and to have those petrodollars come back to the United States in the form of treasury bonds, in exchange for security. Making sure that these guys will rule, these families will rule, and we will protect them. I mean, Bill Simon did that. I don't know if people know that or not.
He was the secretary. He was the Secretary of Treasury.
Yeah, Bill
under
Simon
Nixon.
and Kissinger made that happen, and I was part of that effort, that team that made that happen. I actually went one step further after it happened. I sold them a whole bunch of goddamn junk, that they did not need. Billions and billions of dollars of worth that has since been discarded, But at that time, they parted with billions of dollars. Now that has come to a halt. Okay, that has come to a halt. Now that kept this country afloat, and that kept the price of the dollar as a reserve currency. That's why the United States kept on printing money, up to $40 trillion. But it's going to change. It is changing.
Well, and let me just comment that because I think we need to get close out here. I know I've got a 6:30 I've got to hit.
Yeah,
but almost 45 minutes. And Pepe needs to get some sleep. Not that he needs beauty sleep. Yeah. But this marks sort of the inaugural voyage of Power Shift. It's Zulfiqar Ali's vision. And Pepe and I are fortunate that we've been brought into that vision to be partners. Pepe and I will each be doing one half hour to maybe hour presentation a week to discuss current issues. And then Pepe and I will be joined with Zulfiqar every 2 weeks to do one of the sessions like we did today, where we're going to present intelligence information that you're not getting in a lot of the other channels. And plus to bring along our analysis based upon our experience. And I think we have a real powerful team in that regard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, please do mention where I'm getting this news. I don't know exactly how to say it. Right?
Well, I think it's better just to say the information that you have been provided is from a knowledgeable source who has direct access to the activities.
He's he's in the table. He's in the table. Yeah. Yeah. And he sits at the table. He sits at the table, and one additional finity that I would add: this gentleman has access to direct information from the region, direct verified information from the region. So he's very, 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 very knowledgeable. And his only goal is to set the record straight.
Yeah.
He doesn't expect me to pay him even a penny. Okay. So thank you very much, gentlemen. I really, truly appreciate it. And I'm very grateful to you. And next Monday, Larry, right, will be your first day.
Yes.
And next Tuesday will be your first day. And then you and Larry will have a confab.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Thank you very, very much. It will be translated in 10 different languages. And kindly, because you have such following, please, post it so that people will begin to, understand that this is what is happening.
well, I was advertising it. I've done 8 other podcasts today. It's been crazy. 8. I mean, it's this, and I've got, believe it or not, I got 2 more to go.
Well, that's why you're so respected, Larry. That's why you're so respected.
Yeah, I started with Judge Napolitano, then Nima, then Crew in Islamabad with one of their shows, their nightly television shows. Then I did RT. Then I did Zariel with the Duran. Then I did Brandon Weichert. Then I did Suleiman Ahmed. Then I did Glenn Deason. Then I did Kyle Ancelone. Now with Zulfiqar, and I still have Mario Nafal to do, and Garland Nixon, who's filling in for Jimmy Dore. So it's been a crazy day. Yeah, it's been wild.
Well,
but anyway,
people appreciate you, Larry. That's why they want you. They know that you are an authentic voice.
Well, and that's it. And the same for Pepe too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
Pepe.
absolutely.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Unpayable is the right word.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is exactly what I was saying, Larry. They are not going to be able to pay their debts. I mean, I've been for decades inside the FX infrastructure. Very few people have that experience. I was there from the start, and I'm here now. I was there when it got set up, and I've been with it all along, and I've seen every single part of it. They are not going to be able to pay their debts. Now, if you were an individual who had such a debt, what the hell would be going through your head?
Bankruptcy. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Which is what is going to happen. I mean, the dollar is going to lose its value. I mean, I cannot say whether it will be, 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, but it will definitely not be a reserve currency.
Yeah.
And that means a lot.
Well, what that also means is we'll have plenty to talk about in the future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will be regularly appearing as Larry mentioned. And thank you very much for being available, and thank you very much for being a part of it. Thanks a lot.
All right, and thank you, and brother Escobar, get some rest, my friend.
Yeah.